Hey VC, Jeff, back again with another stack. Excuse me. Yeah, got to be pretty big this week. A lot of study time in, so just get in there. I think there's some fair amount of new to me's in here, but anyway, some revisits. Starting with Jacko Motherfucker and Vibra Cathedral Orchestra. Both, drone bands. I guess you just call this like a mini LP split or something. Um, I don't know, or maybe it's a single. I don't know. Well, it's a single-ish mini LP. I don't know, but yeah, see, as drone, the songs are pretty long anyway. But I wouldn't say it's their best on either of either's, but it's a pretty solid album. Um, yeah, pretty solid four there. So yeah, so kind of droney, little psychedelia, I guess. But there you go. So pretty solid. At least a four there. Enjoy that one. Yeah, a lot of home time studying, whatever. Still waiting for my friggin' PMP to get approved. I'm ready to take the test though. So I was going to purge this, but I'm deciding to keep it. I actually did enjoy it the second or third time around. I don't know. Chris Squire, Fish Out of the Water from Yes. So yeah, I picked this up. I don't know, last year or year before. Anyway, so yeah, so it was from what? Yes. So kind of orchestra, art rocky, proggy in there, but very a lot of orchestra in there. So it's a fun listen. I enjoyed that one. Again, a four. This one you're probably not going to find. Okabayashi, I believe. Nobuyasu. Okabayashi is a Japanese folk artist. He was in the protest song kind of thing. Yeah, four-ish. There's like one or two tracks I could do without. It's a nice gatefold, but it's sickle disc. Excuse me. But yeah, it's an interesting listen. I've been listening to a bit of Japanese folky and whatever stuff. Picked up some new stuff. I'll probably show that next week. So get my head around it and try to order the last bits of it. Kosuke Mine Quartet, first album, Mine. So this was a repress through. It's originally on Three Blind Mice. It's a Les Tres Jazz Club, which I think is a French label. Anyway, I picked this up like a few years ago. I don't know. I think these go for some money now, but I'm not sure. Originals go for serious money. One of my top Japanese jazz albums. I probably should do like a top 5 or top 10. This was definitely in the top 5. Maybe number 2. I don't know, somewhere in there. But excellent, highly recommend it. He does mostly kind of like fusiony kind of stuff. This is a little bit more. It's a little fusiony, but it's got some hard boppy kind of stuff going on there too. Picked this up in Japan, showed it before. It's a Japanese pressing. Don't have the obi strip, but it does have like the Japanese inserts. So I think this is the second pressing, but it's a very early one. Avant-Garde by John Coltrane, Don Cherry. Doesn't get, for John Cherry, doesn't get all that crazy, but it's a good listen. Pretty solid. 4 1/4-ish, I'd say. Yeah, this is probably my favorite Japanese jazz album. So the Yosuke Yamashite, I think this is the trio, and it translates. The title translates into like I think storm, kind of storm or stormy. Araishi, I believe. Yep. So double disc. These go for some pretty good cash. This is the rarer promo copy. I think there's some listed for a few hundred plus. Currently, I didn't pay anything near that. It's on this. I remember finding this in the store. I thought it was a little pricey, and I thought about it overnight, and I went back and got it. It was damn cheap for what it was. I think actually this is the copy on Discogs. I think I had to scan it in. Yeah, fairly rare. So this is considered to be one of the last great Japanese free jazz albums. So really, really good there. So for fans of Cecil Taylor, Archie Shepp, so it's got that kind of Cecil Taylor, Archie Shepp thing going on. So he's a pianist, but yeah, some pretty wild sax on there, and it gets pretty out there, and it's got some like haunted housey kind of sounds on it too. I don't know, that's how I describe it. So I think I got this one upside down or something. Here we go. This is an excellent one. Keith Jarrett with Gary Peacock and Dax Jeanette. I think you can still get this at a fairly reasonable price. So I think this is the German pressing. Again, I bought this a few years ago. Pretty damn solid album, 4.5 all day long. It's all the standards and stuff live. It's from about 10-15 years ago. That's definitely a repress. But yeah, 4.5 all day long on that one. Another really solid album, Kazumi Watanabe's Monday Blues. Even though it's blues, this is very much a jazz album. If you like guitar jazz, this is way up there. 4.5 all day long. A lot of his later stuff definitely goes very fusion-y, but this is very, very much in it would go very well with the trio album I just showed. So it's it's kind of hovers between hard bop and like modal or whatever. Yeah, this is another K. Salvador. I might be done with their catalog. There's one or two I'm thinking about getting, but yeah, this one's still pretty solid. Double album, but they're 45 RPM. So it's probably just over an hour in total. I think that's like 7 tracks, it looks like. So this is a pretty solid one. Kind of more of the experimental end of jazz or avant-garde. This one does have a lot of kind of Eastern stuff going on. Some of the not some, but one of the other ones I bought did have it was a little more like electronic. This goes back a little bit more to the earlier sound, which was a more of an Eastern inspired jazz thing going on. I do really like this one. It's not my favorite K. Salvador, but it's a pretty solid one. 4.5. No, I'm sure this is a really clean copy I found. Electric Prunes, Mass in F minor, David Axelrod. So this was kind of famous in the VC, I guess, but it's more of a David Axelrod album than Electric Prunes. So if you're a fan of that early David Axelrod stuff, like Song of Innocence, you could probably call this Songs of Innocence Part 2 or something. Really solid album, 4.5. This one I was a little surprised by. I don't know. I was expecting. I sampled a little bit of it before I bought it, but I don't know. Not my cup of tea. It's good, but it's not my cup of tea. This is Kentaro Hayashi's Particular. So a double album. So it very techno-y, experimental. Yeah, I don't know. I'm not a big techno guy, so it's electronic, experimental, but it's got a very heavy like techno kind of thing going on. What got my attention was that the remixes by Jim O'Rourke and Merzbow. So that's why I bought it, because I saw their names on it. I wasn't really familiar with the artist. I think this is on red vinyl or something too. I think it's a UK pressing. So I don't know. I'd say it's a good album, just not my cup of tea. So I might give it one more listen, but I have a feeling this is going to get purged. For me, it's like a 3, but yeah, it's a good album. It's just not for me. So that's my personal take on it. This, on the other hand, gets a pretty solid 5. Overhang Parties. This was sort of recommended to me by someone in the comments. Then they're like, "Oh no, I meant the Abe jazz album, not this," which is where this got the name, I guess. So this falls into like the Les Rosales or was it Susho no Fune? It's very similar to them, or a little bit less, like a little bit like High Rise, I guess. So it's that kind of noisy Japanese psych stuff. So this is a 7-inch plus double CD. So it's about 2.5 hours of music. Yeah, 7 inches, like 33 RPM. Kind of interesting package. It's really hard to open. It's got, it opens up. It's got little pockets for everything. It's got a little booklet in there. So this is about 20 years old, I guess. But really, really good. Kind of drony, psych, noisy stuff. No, I've shown this before. Paco de Lucia Interpreta a Manuel de Fala. This was like a thrift line a while back. So pretty damn solid. It's like Spanish, not Spanish. Well, I think it is Spanish. Latin guitar. I believe this is a Spanish pressing. I don't think this is readily available in the States. Yeah, it was just one of those like blind buys. It just looked interesting, and I bought it and paid out. So pretty solid, like solo guitar. Yeah, 4.5 on that. Easy, nice album. More piano stuff. Vijay Iyer Trio, Accelerando. I think the ones that came out like a little bit after this are a little better, but piano jazz, the modal. It's a little ECM-y. So you can kind of see that in the packaging. I think this was like a German pressing or something. I think you can still get these at a reasonable price, but they're definitely out of print. But I think the one, like the 1 or 2 albums after this are a little more solid. I might go back and get those at some point. Yeah, that, and yeah, I think this left in Japan. Cecil Taylor, Innovations. So Japanese pressing again. I think that's a Japanese pressing. It does, yeah, missing Obi though. So it wasn't very expensive in Japan, but who knows what it goes for. So yeah, a little more of the Freeze jazzy piano, but pretty solid. Maybe a 4.5 on that one. Also a Japanese pickup, obviously. So this is Archie Shepp with Dollar Brand. So he's a pianist out of somewhere in Africa. I don't know. For Archie Shepp, it's fairly tame. I would still throw it maybe in that free jazz realm of things, but it's a little more in the modal end of things for free jazz. It's pretty accessible. Pretty damn good album. 4.5 again. And this was a recent thrift pickup. This is one I've been wanting, so I might actually purge my best of Cat Stevens, just keep this, because I think this is really the only Cat Stevens I ever listened to anyway. If I'm streaming Cat Stevens, is this album. A lot of the stuff on the best hits just don't hit for me, but this is the one that's got, Where Did the Children Play, Wild World. The first track was it, I Died Today? I forget. Father and Son, I think, was a big one. Anyway, this shows up on the BZ all the time. It's a pretty solid album. Happy to have it, finally. I paid like $1 or $2 for it. It's in really clean shape, so yay me. A few CDs. This one, this is a story. I bought a copy in Japan, new. This is the packaging and everything from the one I bought in Japan, because it was cleaner. What happened is this stupid packaging. I've never seen this released before on this casing before, and I'm just going to give you a warning if you see this. yeah, so look at that. So I thought I'd just pull it by the, looks like they have these little pull holes, so yeah, so I thought I'd pull it by these things, snap the damn CD in half. So apparently there's a button release, you're supposed to like push that to release it. Yeah, I think very fancy Japanese casing, I guess, I don't know. Yeah, lesson learned. Luckily, I found another copy for around 15, which is more than I paid for it originally, but yeah, I didn't have to ship it from Japan, so I was happy with that. It was around 15 total, but yeah, I don't know. I think there's a couple more copies on Discogs. This is pretty damn good, if you're familiar with the artist on here. So definitely in the free jazz, this is not an easy listen, but 4.5 all day long, gave us a couple listens, really solid. So Sato Masahiko, I guess he had piano, and then Otomo Yoshida, mostly stays in the jazz world, but he kind of does some rocky stuff too, so guitarist, and yeah, Roger Turner on drums. So it starts out with a little drum solo, that's pretty long, and then gets into some pretty wild, heavy stuff. Yeah, if you like a little more challenging free jazz, that's a great one. Again, definitely free jazz. I might want to pick up their other albums. They're cheap, but Cold Bleak Heat, pretty solid. Yeah, 4.5 again. I've never shown this before. It was kind of a blind buy when I purchased a bunch of other stuff. But solid free jazz, not for everyone for sure, but really enjoyed that. It's kind of same vein. This is Shusho no Fune, The Shining Star Live, which I think is a U.S. pressing. Kind of hard to make that out, but it means Crystal Ships, which I think is a Doors reference. Yeah, so again, Japanese psych, kind of droney, guitar-driven psych. That is, I think, out of the early 2000s. Pretty solid album. Yeah, 4.5-ish. Not as good as that the one I showed the 7-inch though. And this was a Goodwill find. I think I'm just gonna purge all my Doors and keep this and done. Never been a massive Doors fan. I think it's missing the booklet, so I think they used the booklet for the cover or something. Whatever. I paid $1. So I think I'm just gonna purge all my Doors and hold on to this. I'm getting ready for a big collection purge. Just replace a lot of stuff with the best hits CDs or whatever for the more classic rocky stuff, because I just don't listen to it. Kind of on the fence if I'm purging Zeppelin and a few other things, but I think I'm going to get rid of a lot of the like Doors and Heart and stuff. I just don't listen to it. Anyway, hope you guys are well, and I'm going to get out of here. Got a pretty busy week ahead of me, I think. So, yeah, so hopefully I'll hear back from the P&P so I can take the damn test. Because I'm ready for the damn test. I just want to get it over with. Later, guys.